टू क्रिप्टो ट्रेडिंग भारत में सभी दोस्तों का बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। तो पिछले वीडियो में आपने देखा होगा कि जो भी डिस्कशन हुआ है उसके ऊपर मैंने वीडियो बनाया है। अगर आपने वो अब तक उस वीडियो को नहीं देखा है तो डिस्क्रिप्शन में लिंक मिल जाएगा, आपको वीडियो जरूर देखना। वो पार्ट 1 है, ये पार्ट 2 है। इसमें भी और जो निर्मला सीतारमण जी ने जो आंसर किया है, जो भी क्वेश्चन किया गया और भी कुछ क्वेश्चन किया गया, वो भी इस वीडियो में मिलेगा आपको। जो भी क्वेश्चन किया गया वो सारा आप देख पाओगे, और जो आंसर किया है निर्मला सीतारमण जी ने, वित्त मंत्री ने हमारी, जो आंसर किया है आप वो भी आंसर देख पाओगे। मेक श्योर चैनल पर पहली बार आया हो चैनल को सब्सक्राइब जरूर करके जाना और लाइक जरूर करके जाना। तो दोस्तों देखो वीडियो को, और जो भी क्वेश्चन आंसर किया गया है बिल के रिगार्डिंग वो आप वीडियो को देखो।
At the same time, sir, while this measure is intended to disincentivize, discourage people trading or occupying or holding cryptocurrencies or NFTs, the government still is sending out mixed signals. And the government should send out a very clear signal. How are you going to define crypto? Is it an asset? Is it a currency? Is it something that can be speculative? We are waiting for the legislation and for the clarity to come. And why it is important for the clarity to come sooner rather than later? Because so many people in India are in trading in cryptocurrencies. So many exchanges have been set up. And so normally when there is an IT technology based change that takes place, we welcome it. And Indians are the first to welcome. Indians are the first to adopt it and innovate it and put an Indian context to it. And therefore, already there are record volumes of crypto based transactions. Already a lot of young IT engineers are involved in this. But the government, while inputting a 30% tax, while they're coming out with further and further clarifications that it can't be offset, the losses cannot be offset. But I appeal to the government to have two approaches in mind. One approach should be that if you want to treat crypto as a sin and you want to have a high tax on it, and you want to eventually ban it, then be specific and have that. But bear in mind that a lot of people would indulge in crypto and indulge in these operations in the dark net, and all of these operations will go underground.
You are supporting cryptocurrency?
No, I'm saying I'm asking the government to be clear, to have a clear approach.
Clarity.
Have clarity.
Okay.
And I'm asking for a policy to come out sooner rather than later. And secondly, I'm asking, sir, at the same time, I hope the government doesn't change its mind, because there are parts of this world, I'm just outlining the complexity of the issue, because there are parts of the world, there are even countries which are adopted crypto as officially. Different countries have come out with regulations. Japan has one set of regulations, America has another set of regulations. So the government needs to have two approaches. One, if there is a ban, what is going to be your approach so that crypto doesn't become as the route for money laundering or illicit activities or drugs or crime? B, if they do want to regulate it, then what are the lessons that we can learn from America and Japan from elsewhere? But that is, I rest it over here. But nonetheless, sir, point being, crypto is a risk at this moment, is a risk. And crypto is not the only risk that is in today's market. Sir, the stock market, sir, if you would see, there over the last 2 years,
in a single stroke, the government has managed to hamper India's cryptocurrency future. While there is no clarity on actually how the government intends to regulate the space of cryptocurrency, since there is not even a draft bill, or there is a bill in front of a parliamentary committee. The finance minister has made certain changes to the regulation of virtual digital asset class that will greatly hamper India's Web 3.0 space. The Web 3.0 space is not just cryptocurrencies, whether it's movies, music, gaming, ticketing, commerce. It intends to revolutionize the world with smart contracts and the metaverse. The interchanging of assets across different blockchains is critical to the business of 3.0, Web 3.0. What does a 1% TDS? What does a 1% TDS do to the blockchain, to the business of the blockchain? It is critical to understand that what the finance minister has done by introducing this 1% TDS on on the blockchain industry, it is going to hamper the way this business is done, sir. I will like to point out here that Amitabh Bachchan has launched his NFT. अभी जो एक मूवी 83 जो क्रिकेट के ऊपर आई थी, जिसमें सभी हमारे ग्रेट क्रिकेटर्स को दिखाया गया था, उसमें भी एक NFT लॉन्च हुई. अब एक उदाहरण के रूप में अगर आप लेंगे, अगर आप अपना NFT, अगर आप अपना रुपए को एक इथीरियम खरीदते हैं जो कि एक क्रिप्टो करेंसी है, और उसको जो है आप मेटा मास्क में जो क्रिप्टो वॉलेट है उसके अंदर डालते हैं, और उससे फिर आप जाकर के एक बॉलीवुड मूवी का NFT खरीदते हैं, जिससे आपको जो है उस एक्टर का साइन किया हुआ एक पोस्टर मिलता है, तो इन 3 ट्रांजैक्शन हर एक स्टेज पे आपको 1% TDS लगेगा. मैं आपके माध्यम से माननीय फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर को ये जरूर बताना चाहता हूं कि एक काम के लिए आपको 3 जगह पे जब आप TDS लगाएंगे तो ये सीधे सीधे रेड टेपिज्म को हमारे सामने उजागर करता है, और इस पूरे नए एसेट क्लास को, जो कि एक बहुत युवा एसेट क्लास है, उसको पूरी तरह से खत्म करने का काम करता है. मैं माननीय फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर जी से निवेदन करूंगा, मेरा लास्ट पॉइंट आ रहा है सर, मैं फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर जी से निवेदन करना चाहूंगा कि ये जो पॉलिसी आई है 1% TDS की, आप लिख के रख लीजिए, आने वाले समय में आप खुद इसको बदलने का काम करेंगे, और जो 3 जगह आप ले रहे हैं उसको आप खत्म करेंगे. आप इन्वेस्टर्स के बारे में सोचिए, जो ये स्पेस है सर, मैं खत्म कर रहा हूं, आप चाहे वेब 1.0 को लीजिए, गूगल जैसा बड़ा कंपनी सिलिकॉन वैली से आया, वेब 2.0 में फेसबुक जैसी बड़ी कंपनी जो है वो सिलिकॉन वैली में आई, वेब 3.0 में हमारे देश में जहां इतने यूनिकॉर्न्स पैदा हो रहे हैं, आज आप ये रेगुलेशन लगा करके हर एक इसके अंदर जो भी ट्रांजैक्शन हो रहा है उसका आप गला घोटने का काम कर रहे हैं. मैं सर खत्म कर कंक्लूजन में सर बस मेरे को 1 मिनट दे दीजिए, मैं कंक्लूड कर रहा हूं. उसका सर एक मिनट सर निवेदन है सर प्लीज निवेदन है सर, देश के जो ये युवा क्लास है 18 से 20-25 साल के लोग इसमें ज्यादा इन्वेस्टेड है. आप उनकी सोच को इस तरह से मत स्टाइफल करिए, इस तरह से खत्म मत करिए, और इस एसेट क्लास पे 1% TDS को आप खत्म करिए, क्योंकि ये आने वाले समय में इस बहुत ही बढ़िया एसेट क्लास को हमारे देश के अंदर मटिया पलीत कर देगा. और उसको रोकने से आप लोगों से निवेदन है कि आप लोग जो है इसके ऊपर कोई टैक्स, एक TDS न लगाइए.
फिल्म बनाने जा रहे हो क्या?
Well, digital currency, a lot of members have spoken. One aspect which was raised was government is giving a mixed signal. There doesn't seem to be a clarity, and this was raised by quite a lot of members. Supriya Sule ji raised it, हमारे Ritesh Pandey ji raised it, Pinaki ji raised it. So I just want to say, there is no confusing signals. We are very clear that there are consultations going on as to whether we want to regulate it, as to whether we want to regulate it to some extent or really very much, or totally ban it, are all after the consultation, which will be concluded, and once it's concluded, the matter will come out. But till then, we are taxing it also because there's a lot of reported activity happening there. A lot of transactions are happening, and from the way the concerns being expressed by several members, there is definitely a commonplace knowledge that a lot of exchanges are happening, people are putting money, people are taking money, people are creating assets, and the assets are being sold and bought. So obviously government made its position clear, saying we shall tax the money being generated out of it, and that is why we have come out with the proposal to tax at 30%. And also the TDS has been brought in. Like always, TDS is more for tracking. It's not an additional tax, it's not a new tax, it is a tax which is going to help people to track it, but at the same time for the payer, for the person who's paid the 1% TDS, he can always reconcile it with the total tax that he has to pay to the government. Minus it if he's paid more, or add it if he has to pay additionally. So there is no new taxation because of the TDS, but the TDS principle has always been same, and that probably is also one of the reasons why the tax base has widened, not here on the digital, but in general, the tax base has been widening, where we had only about 5 point something earlier to start with in 2014. We are now touching 9.1 crore people, and that is because we are able to find the money trail of people who seem to be spending money, who file assessments sometimes, but who don't pay even if they are expected to pay. So TDS is always one legitimate way through which we are tracking the transactions and therefore being helpful to widen the base.